All right, I have 5:30 and we have a quorum of docs, so we'll get this started. Let's proceed with the pledge. Still as I share the pledge. How's my time?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So minutes from the last meeting were sent out. The agenda is wrong. It says March. It should say April 7th, 2025. Can we get a motion from one of the docs to approve? Motion made by Dr. Delaney. Do I have a second?
Second, Maya Gray.
Seconded by Dr. Gray. All in favor? Motion by the raise of hands. All right, DOH enforcement list. Let me turn this over to Gabby.
Okay, so starting with 422. Timothy McCabe Jr. from Attica, 800.15 A1, complied with national EMS standards, 800.15 A2, complied with state approved protocols, 800.3 AM negligent, 800.3 AO patient abandonment. And that was revoked effective 4/18 of 25. The second one, same date, Daniel Howard from Patterson, New Jersey, 800.16 A1 has failed to comply with requirements. Suspended for 3 years, suspension stayed pending no further abuse, civil penalty of $2,000. Fortunately, one from our area, Mark Dalton from Canton, 800.3 AM negligent, 800.3 AL incompetence means a lack of or loss of a skill or knowledge to practice the profession and or practicing with negligence. 1 year suspension stayed pending no further abuse, civil penalty of $1,000. 5/14/25, Nathan Berg from Brooklyn, New York, 800.3 AP1 patient physical abuse, 800.3 AP2 patient psychological abuse, revoked effective 5/13/25, civil penalty of $2,000. 5/15, Jasmine Garth from Newburgh, New York, 800.3 AL, incompetence means a lack of or loss of skill or knowledge to practice the profession in or practicing with negligence. 800.3 AM negligent, 800.15 A complied with pre-hospital practice standards, surrendered effective 5/14/25. 6/17/25, Mataga Sarger from Queens Village, New York, 800.16 suspension. Suspended 3 years, suspension stayed pending no further abuse, civil penalty of $2,000. Same date, Evan Torres from New York, 800.16 suspension, suspended 3 years, suspension stayed pending no further abuse, civil penalty of $2,000. 6/20/25, Stephen Tainer from Warwick, New York, 800.16 A13, held himself as being certified at a higher level than actually certified, surrendered effective 6/20/25. 7/17, Bensonhurst Voluntary Ambulance in Brooklyn, 800.21 J, make available for inspection. 3012 1B has not been competent in the operation of the service or has shown inability to provide adequate ambulance services or advanced, should be life support, not life support, first response service. Certificate revoked effective 7/16/25. 8/12/25, Amanda E.G. from Wallkill, New York, for violations of previous stipulation and order, suspended for 1 year effective 8/12/25. And the last one, 926, Wayne Allen from Gloversville, New York, 800.3 AK, criminal offense, revoked effective 9/26/25. That is the enforcement list. Any questions? You'll notice a lot of revokes and a lot of surrenders, so.
Okay, CMAX SEMSCO report, Mark. I don't have any, so that's why we jumped.
Just saying.
We don't have any correspondence, so we're going to CMAX SEMSCO.
Thanks for that.
Mark, you want a heads up?
Mark,
So we met early part of last month. The first big thing is all those like 9 regulatory packages that we've been talking about, there's one that actually has made its way through the public comment process. It's the revision to 824, which is vehicle equipment standards. There's a copy of it on the table. Those will go into effect sometime around the next 6 months. I went and looked on the website today and I did not see it up there yet. But I would expect it, the new version to be with the old version within the next few weeks, and that'll be like 6 months from the date it's posted. That those will take effect and be enforceable. They're continuing to look at patient offload times. It's not as huge of issue in this area. The Capital District and the Central New York area seem to have a little bit more struggles with it. And they're working with FDRHPO, which is the hospital's version of SEMSCO, to see if they can engage in, I'll get a copy of the report that was done up and that FDRHPO was going to be working on and continue the engagement there. The only other big thing that I really want to highlight, the AEMT-CC level has, I guess, reared its ugly head in conversation again. There's some very good with this, as well as a headache. The CC was supposed to sunset on in July 27th. There's been probably some political games or something going on, and the first deputy commissioner was at our meeting, Dr. Heslin, who actually we had some really great engagement with, and he plans on attending more meetings. There's going to be some conversations with the executive committee of SEMSCO, as well as the commissioner's office on what our options are for the CC. I will say nothing is set in stone. I know I have gotten phone calls from people, a couple of core sponsors and other things, that people are dropping out of paramedic programs because the CC is not going away. That decision is not made yet. There may be a change, it may get kicked down the road, it may just be sunset through attrition, or the date may not change. We have no idea what it is. And especially for people that are in the online bridge program, we don't know how many more of those classes are going to be offering. We know they're going to be offering classes up until the original sunset date. After that, we do not know if that's going to be an option for people. So if people are on the fence, I would encourage them to stay in a paramedic program. That's about all I have, unless there's any questions. The full report is 20 pages long, sitting on.
Any questions for Mark? Before we jump to the state report, we do have some new faces in the room, so if they want to take a chance to introduce themselves, we'll start with you, sir. And work our way around.
Hi, Nick Suter. I'm a chief medical officer over at Guthrie for the Army, clearly. I did the EMS fellowship, San Antonio Fire, and did the sensor medicine fellowship down there. So
everything you saw there, it's nothing like that.
So I, for the last 5 years, have been the Army EMS system medical director. You can't have just one job in the Army, apparently. So all 117 sites. I know all about New York State. I know about California with its LEMSAs. There is many variations in EMS, but happy to hear how it's going here.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
How long are you with us for?
Here.
We'll just get you trained up and you'll be gone. That's okay.
So, they've joked about reopening the emergency department. I'm the only EM position that's come in quite some time, so. It's a short notice thing and.
Where did you come from?
Korea.
Oh.
There was a short notice thing there too. You as we're told.
Welcome.
Thank you. Joe, an old face returned.
I'll stand because I'm small.
Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Joseph Bova, I'm from Samaritan Medical Center. I work up in the Medical Affairs Division. I'm also heading up the trauma program, so I'm trauma prevention injury prevention coordinator. For those of you, Michael Briggs, I took his spot. I don't know if he was face here now.
Yep. Yeah, he was.
So I'm his new face, along with Stephen Curry. He's the trauma program manager. He was supposed to be on, but he's under the weather. So he was gonna try to come in by Zoom, but I don't know if he's gonna. But hopefully, I'll try to bring some stats and some other information. I've only been here a week, so trying to get up to speed with everything. It's been a little bit hectic right now, but it'll eventually clear itself out.
Perfect. Welcome back.
Back.
Yes, I was a paramedic previously. I retired in 2022 with that. But now I found another healthcare avenue job to occupy the time, so we make some change.
Maybe we can second back in as a paramedic.
We'll see.
I didn't say no.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Steve Scully-Beeman, one of the business managers for LifeNet New York. Recently took over St. Lawrence County as part of our footprint. Been with the company for 5 years now, just expanding my reach up in the North Country.
Hello, my name is Amber Hans. I'm also with LifeNet of New York and our Guthrie Air. I've been with the company for over 6 years, flew out of our city base for 5 years as a flight paramedic. Still a paramedic in New York State and Pennsylvania, but now venturing over to the business side, and I'll be covering Jefferson County.
So not, you're on New County.
We're together.
Oh. People were playing
Yeah,
County.
we gotta make every time we're both shorter than her, and neither of us dress as nice as she does. We'll try to live up to the standards.
Perfect. New York State EMS update. Since we have Director Greenberg on, we'll let him do the talking and he can introduce his staff and then they can do the talking.
Hi, everybody.
Oh,
Those you, can you see me now?
hold on, Ryan, you're really quiet and I gotta figure out how to turn the volume up.
Most people don't want to turn the volume up when I talk.
Oh, yeah.
Volume is all the way up.
You're gonna have to speak up, Ryan.
No problem. So hopefully you can hear me okay. My name is Ryan Greenberg. I'm the director of the Division of State EMS, and I'm going to pass it off to Vinny next.
All right, just a couple quick updates. First, I wanted to introduce Curtis and Eric. Eric is in surveillance and operations with me out of the Central New York Regional Office. He's been with us since the end of July. Some people have seen him kind of pop in and out, so he's been tagging along with full services and all that. Then we have Curtis, and Curtis, I'm going to butcher your title, but Curtis started with us in September. He is one of our education folks out of the Central New York Regional Office, and I'll let him take the way.
Thanks, Vinny. So yeah, I'm Curtis. I work in the Syracuse office, and I will be helping everybody with their course sponsors. So I am a unit chief in the instructional standards and compliance under the education branch. So some of you might have seen or maybe gotten emails from me, but I'll be doing a lot of the work with course sponsors, renewals, applications, and anything with that. I'll put my contact information in the chat and look forward to working with all of you.
Great, welcome. We're fun up here, a little cold, but still fun.
Ryan, any updates you want to give on anything to folks with our docs on and everything?
No, so I think, there's some things coming out, obviously, Devers just spoke a little bit about the EMTCC and kind of where things are with that. So we originally had a sunset date of 2027, and that is, there's still a plan on, kind of sunsetting or transitioning that level as it's not a national standard. Just the date is going to move. So we're working on that plan now. And then, vital signs coming up right around the corner, not too far from most of you. And we really added a bunch of new things to it that I think is interesting, particularly for our REMAX and our REMSCOs as we kind of look into the future and best preparing our providers. We added the FTAP program, which is an FTO program, a national FTO program, bringing it into state that might become the state standard. The SEMSCO is looking at that as a standard, and so that is one of the things that's in there. We added an airway course into the front. It hasn't been published yet, but the leadership course is back from last year, and that is going to be free again with registration. So if you do have some people who want to go to a 2-day leadership class, it was a great class, really good reviews from last year on that front. And then, we have our ALS and our BLS, and we have some new things that are coming out with that front as well. So just, a lot going on that one. For those of you who are looking for educator courses or people in your agencies on the educator course, we're bringing back the NAMSI course. On the quality side, we're bringing back the NAMSP quality course on how to be a good quality assurance officer. And we are also bringing in, this is new this year, to TECC, not TCCC. So, kind of some of the hands-on things that people are asking for. So bring in that course, bring in DT for EMS, which is Defense Tactics for EMS. Again, hands-on pre-con, in part just because of the feedback. And then the other big difference in this year's conference is we did move the dates. And so we moved it to where the main conference now is on Friday and Saturday. And that's in part just, we're seeing the transition in our workforce and our volunteers and trying to cater to both of the populations in not taking up an entire weekend, but taking up, kind of half of a weekend. And so allowing opportunities for our volunteers to, maybe take a day off of work, but not lose a whole weekend, and allowing our field providers who feel they, want at least part of their weekend and not being in an educational situation, to have that opportunity as well. And so, a lot of really good things coming on that front, related to vital signs. In addition to that, some things that you'll see coming out in 2026, we're doing a recruitment and retention one-day symposium that will be down on Long Island and up in the Finger Lakes, and that will be in the February-March time period. So we'll have more to, come on that front. And yeah, so a lot going on. In addition, the division continues to grow. We continue to build. We'll have some more information, most likely at the December, if not then at the February meeting for council, and just to describe kind of where we are, where we're going. As you can tell, we've become a division. We have 3 bureaus underneath us. There is some organizational changes that will happen in sense of job titles and functions and things of that nature that we're going to be doing a release on in the next kind of 4 to 8 weeks. That would just kind of give a little bit more of an explanation on where things are. But, a lot of really good things happening, and just excited for the growth and the change. Excited for the equipment regs to finally be done. So that, got voted on at the last meeting, and that is probably 3 years in the making. And for any of you wondering, did we really need an update to our equipment regs? The last time they were updated was in 1992. So yeah, it's been a little bit, and probably was due for an update prior to now, but now's when it happened. Our ambulance vehicle builds are coming up next. Our blood bills are coming up next. Our community paramedicine regs are coming up in the future. So we have a lot going on the growth and modernization of what's out there and how things are happening. And we're just doing our best to try and keep up with it. In addition, particularly for the docs, you'll see some more things in the community outreach related to EpiPens and where they can be, different places that can have public access EpiPens. Or at least staff access EpiPens, as well as rescue inhalers. So those all fall under Article 30 as well. And so we're working on guidance documents and things that come along with that one in the same front. So I think that's everything, but I'm happy to take any comments or questions if people have any.
Anybody have anything? I do. Ryan, do you have an update on the policy statement for the eye gels?
Yeah, my guess
When we can-
is, yeah, you'll see it, my guess, by November 1st, if not sooner. So we're in the final components there. Just the one thing I will say with the iGels is BLSFRs do not qualify. So this is a big discussion at council and things like that. Because they are not a regulated entity, they do not qualify for the iGel project or for using an iGel. So just situational awareness, if you're running or if you have oversight or running basic life support first response agency, they would not qualify for the iGel project.
And then the other was, well, I just blanked.
The medical director.
Oh, the med director verification form. I know it got brought up at CMAC and SEMSO, and you were gonna look into it with Ed and I think Dan. And I just didn't know if you had a chance, because the language change that took the REMAC component out of it. I just didn't know if there was any update on that.
I don't have an update on that one yet.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Anything else for FEMS or the division? Sorry, old habits. Okay, moving on to air medical reports. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead.
Sure.
That's a blank stare.
You guys are here, well. Yeah, as some new guys in the room,
Yeah.
taking over, is there any information, that's particularly useful coming from our group to you, rather than us just sort of catering something off the cuff for you for next meeting?
I would really like knowing how many requests you had, how many accepted, you know, how many you were able to fly. And we know weather comes in and we know that there's automatic dispatch for some things and that once the ambulance gets on the scene, it doesn't warrant it. So if we can have those numbers, those are very helpful to share. We can forward you, actually, Colleen, you should give us a report that we were put out with our meeting. We can forward you so you can see what was in there so that we can try to follow the same
You want it broken down by county or just
county.
county?
Absolutely, we'll have that for the next meeting, otherwise just high level for us, coming into the conference season, for vital signs, we'll have the presence there, doing the scenario area throughout, the conference, please stop by in business, we'll have a lot of our, regional education staff on site with some of our high fidelity mannequins, including I think we'll have first dibs at the new OB mannequin, sorry. I think we'll have first dibs at the new OB mannequin that we're taking delivery for the regional training center right there, so. We should make the most out of it, guys.
Mark, you want to sign up for that one?
Chris will be there with you. You and Chris can do
I'll
it
back you up.
together.
Get your back, Mark.
Push it back in. Duct tape your legs together, it's all good.
Matt?
So I know everybody loved Emily. We did finally interview a bunch of people to replace her, so we'll have an EMS partner engagement person coming into the mix. I believe the offer goes out middle of this week, so I'll be bringing her around, getting her kind of briefed and ready for the conferences, circuits, but in the meantime, you'll see us at Vital Signs with a bunch of our new staff members kind of hanging out and showcasing some of the equipment. The education day on Friday went off like gangbusters. Lots of people there, especially from up here. It was great to see everybody come down for the conference and burn down. Other than that, I'm going to meeting.
Any questions for air medical? All right, protocols, there is no work that's really come out from the collaborative protocol committee yet for the coming year. That will be to come at some point. So we'll move on to Amanda's quality corner report, because we can actually give it this time. Up loud.
So, this kind of stemmed off of, I did a quality improvement course through, MAEMSP, and I just kind of expanded it from 3 agencies to our entire region. So the goal was to, look at the percentages of, acquisition of a complete set of vital signs and GCS and refusals.
Here. Control yourself.
Thanks. That's the other good stuff. So the findings, there were 2,711 charts that were patient refusals in all 3 counties from January 1st of this year to June 30th of this year. 1,447 had documentation of the systolic blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate, SpO2, and GCS. So that's about 54% for the entire region. And then for GCS, it was about 91. For the GCS for all 3 counties, it was about 91%, which was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Lewis County kind of helped a lot because I utilized search and rescue for my project, and they had a vast improvement in their acquisition of vital signs and refusals, which really boosted the number of Lewis County because all the other agencies are such small agencies. So for Jefferson County, it was 55.45% for vital sign acquisition, and GCS was 85.45%. Lewis County overall was 88.88%, so about 89%. And then for GCS, they were at 94%. And St. Lawrence County was at about 43%, so that's the county we need to work on the most. And then for GCS, they were 86%. There's a comparison of all of it.
So Amanda, I'd really like you to have this in a PowerPoint that we can have at spring clean that can be there so people can look at that and we can emphasize that a little bit with people about making sure that they're doing it and stuff.
There's like almost no reason to not have at least the GCS in there. So because
You can't sign somebody off if you can't assess their, that's the competency. That's.
I mean, it's a hands-free assessment that's,
Mhm.
it's, it'd be good if they buy them. Showing and grasp with just a little bit of contextual statement.
So, I did just make a note in the observations that Lewis County led in compliance with the money quality improvement project that had been ongoing. And then St. Lawrence County is the lowest.
And to be fair, that Amanda's not including this, so I'll say it for, our one St. Lawrence County agency that was involved with her study ended up having to back out halfway through, so.
So I ended up only using 2 agencies for my project instead of 3. Anybody have any questions?
So you have presented this for your,
Nope, I just, I expanded my project with this one. So I just did, my quality improvement project was for Carthage and Lewis County, search and rescue. And, we finished that and we made an 18% improvement across the board.
you have submitted this, so your class is
My
done.
class is done, yes.
That's, people need to understand, that's quite a time commitment, for
So here,
that program that you.
it was fantastic though. I would highly recommend it to anybody interested in quality improvement. It was a fantastic course.
So, I mean, to me, this speaks to that education obviously works, we know that, so you identify an issue and you educate them and you have 18% improvement.
And honestly, that's all I did to improve it was education.
I guess,
It's fantastic.
you know, for my, not my current, neither one of my current occupations, but previously, but this would speak to me is, this is a huge liability for a lot of agencies.
Yes.
And I guess I wondered, do they realize? Like, patient refusals from a medical legal perspective
The worst.
is a huge liability to agencies. And, from a compliance perspective, is there something that we can do as a REMAC or REMSCO to bring this to their attention to help improve these, to improve these numbers? Because, from a provider perspective and an agency perspective, and quite honestly, for the physicians and the medical directors, this is a huge liability. Because if you look at case precedents, they're gonna sue me as the provider, they're gonna sue the agency, but they're also gonna bring in the medical director as well. So from a medical legal perspective, I think the work that Amanda has done should be applauded, but now that we've identified this, what do we do?
The education that I did with Carthage and LSR was, I had a couple case studies on refusals that went south and then a couple of refusals that went well, like the provider escaped any charges. And we talked about the documentation and the ethical and legal responsibilities. We had really good just roundtable conversations, that was my goal, was to just get them talking about it and like discuss why it's so important.
So maybe this should be one of the lunch and learns for spring flip.
Yeah, I would say anecdotally, from the conversations that I've had with some of the people from a QA perspective, like doing chart reviews for these guys, and then providing feedback, I've noticed a lot of the time the excuse really is that they didn't learn it the right way when it came to documenting and some of the stuff that we found in some of the narratives and some of the kind of care paths that were followed. A lot of the follow-up communication from the end person really was that they didn't learn any better. And they didn't understand the difference between subjective and objective and pertinent positive and pertinent negative. Those are four very big things when it comes to medical legal world, and you're sitting in a courtroom with your PCR and they read your narrative and someone's making very subjective statements about things, or or they're just omitting vital signs and not, patient, like you said. So we were just talking about injecting it into my EMT class for documentation and quality assurance kind of discussion point, but I think you're right. We've identified something that needs to be addressed because now it's kind of a glaring liability.
I have more on it, but I'll talk about it in our report.
Perfect.
Any other things to talk about with that?
Good job, Amanda.
It's really good. All right, program meetings. Bear with me while I do the teams shuffle. Okay. So we received updated pads from Planet Fitness, Town of Fowler, FX Auto Sales, and Universe Central School, and Purcell Construction. We received a new pad from the Town of Brazier. Regional applications for BLS iGel, so no new agencies can be added to this. We're waiting for the state to release the policy statement on this. Agencies that were already enrolled may still continue in the pilot, under the pilot project. So those that are listed can still continue to do BLS iGel. Hopefully soon we'll be able to approve new agencies because we've got a lot of requests for it. Regional BLS adjuncts. So we received BLS 12 lead applications and all their paperwork from Potsdam Rescue, Messina, and Natural Bridge. So we need a motion from one of the REMAC docs in a second to approve. Dr. Delaney makes the motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Coates seconds. All in favor in our remote land? Perfect, they're approved. I'll get letters out to them by Wednesday. Regional notifications. So Carthage Rescue is going to start to carry cefazolin And Tonawanda County Ambulance is gonna be carrying TXA and Cefazolin. We received letters from their medical directors, signing off on that. All right. QI initiative, I can see it if you want me.
So we have two of these, we have quarter two and quarter three. In April, we had 22 agencies down in the North Country. I reviewed 103 charts, 45 from the North Country. There were two agencies that didn't have charts uploaded. I'm pretty sure they were Mountain Lakes agencies. And we sent one chart to the agency medical director for further review. May, we did 20 agencies, 9 from the North Country. We reviewed 78 charts, 40 from the North Country region. We had two agencies with no charts uploaded, and there was also one sent to the medical director for further review. June, we had 22 agencies, only 8 in the North Country, so there were only 30 charts from our region. We had 4 agencies with no charts uploaded, and we didn't have to send anybody to the medical director. So those are where our deficiencies lay for quarter two. Assessments are still a problem. I'm at a loss. Does anybody have any idea how to make that better?
Well, I'd like to start with 2 sets of vitals, because I can't find anything written anywhere that says you have to have 2 sets of vitals. Because I had somebody question me on that, because I had CQI'd somebody and sent it back. It used to, I know it used to be in writing somewhere, but I can't find it anywhere, so.
So if I'm not mistaken, it's in the data requirements in the schematron. That if you have a transport that is over 15 minutes, requires 2 sets of vitals. If your transport time is less than 15 minutes, it doesn't.
That change was made about a year, maybe
More
more
than a
year,
year.
a couple years ago.
But no,
See it in writing.
It's not a policy, it's just part of the schematron to
I
post.
mean, we need to be able to show people when they question you, we need to be able to show them in writing why that is.
But, I mean, basic training is 5 minutes unstable,
I
15
I
minutes
know,
stable, but it's
you know,
really
these
not in.
younger providers now want to see it in
But
writing.
to Mark's point, that falls back to, what is it, 800.12 or 13, whatever? You've been trained to do something, it's in the national standards, that is what you have to follow. So maybe it doesn't have to be in policy or protocol, it's just part of the training. And that might be what you gotta hang that on. Now that you mention that. What was it? I'd have to go back and look up the reg, but in the reg, essentially, remember the one that we questioned? I didn't know what it was. I think I sent an email to Ed and said, hey, can you explain this? And essentially that was the answer, was something to do with, I have to look it up. I find my email from Ed, but essentially it was how you were trained. Your national standard says you have to do this. That's what that state regulation refers to. That might be what we have to do.
We did have 2 protocol violations in this quarter from our region.
Oh, yeah, we'll go on.
Quarter three, in July, we did 21 agencies, 10 North Country, 98 charts reviewed, 48 from this region. 1 with no charts uploaded, which that was also not nice. Yeah, and we had to send 4 charts to medical directors for further review. August, 21 agencies, 10 from the North Country, 96 charts total, 46 from the North Country. Again, 1 with no charts uploaded and 1 chart sent to the agency medical director. September, yeah. September, 23 agencies, 7 from North Country, 102 charts reviewed, 35 from the North Country. We only had 1 agency with no charts uploaded.
So we've engaged conversations with the data and informatics unit with the division. And the problem that we're seeing with a lot of these agencies that have charts that aren't uploading is they're actually a Vermont-owned agency. So the chart gets sent back to Vermont, has to make it through Vermont's schematron, and then gets sent back to New York and has to make it through New York's schematron. And it's failing at one of the 2 points. So Peter is working on figuring out how to fix that.
Here's deficiencies, recording 3. I actually have been working on, which I will be at the first REMSCO meeting of next year. 2024 versus 2025 comparison agency by agency to see what percentage deficiencies agencies are at.
And again, you see complete assessments or the focused assessments are where we're still lacking.
we need to, this needs to be part of spring fling too. We need to have the stuff on
Has like body system.
a thing as a review,
Yeah.
so people can see it.
So upcoming training, so, believe it or not, Debbie, Mark, Amanda and I are feverishly working on spring fling for this year.
Next year.
Or for next year, this year, it all goes. And our goal is to have the, registration open the first week of January, so we can get out ahead and, get everything lined up. As long as everybody locks in for what we've got selected, we have a really great speaker lineup of speakers for this year. And then the other thing we need to discuss, we want to do that now, Deb? The pricing, oh no, that's wrapped up, never mind. So we have the Fall EMS Education Day, which is gonna be at North Country Community College on November 1st. We've got about 18 people registered for that so far, which is pretty good for how far out we are. Minimal cost to them, we're charging $20 and that basically covers their lunch. Pretty sure we're doing lunch at NCC again this year. They've been a really great partner in all of this. Scott Harwood with their program in Franklin County. And it really is the perfect middle point for us as a program agency that covers both regions. It is the central point. So we're catching actually a really decent amount of people from the North Country region and from the Mountain Lakes region. So then coming soon to the LMS, this kind of ties back to some of the stuff that Mark brought up when we were talking about the. They're just not posted yet. So, in seeing some of the stuff that we saw with the refusals and, some pretty high risk refusals with some pretty poor documentation surrounding it. I developed a training declined but denied. It's a high risk refusals training and the legal implications. The training has been reviewed by an attorney, so it's been vetted. I just have to get into the recording booth and record the training. And then get it out to Debbie or whomever is gonna sign off on it for CMEs. But the attorney was actually pretty impressed with it and added a few different things that we didn't think of. But that should be out, hopefully, my goal is the end of the month. ALS pharmacology, and then rest that are there.
I just want to say, it has been refreshing to have so much stuff that we could upload to the learning management system since Amanda has joined us.
I have a tentative, I mean, I'm still working on like 4 different lectures I have in my planner, but tentatively, right now, we're good till March education.
I mean, it's just to release to her. She's, you know, they're very well put together.
And it makes me not stressed about things, so that's good. Again, our EMS Education Day, Saturday, November 1st. Anybody wants to do it? Scan QR code real quick. So just miscellaneous things that we've participated in. So the State Polymetrics Committee, State Legislative Committee, State Data Informatics, State EMS meetings attended. Next meetings are, I didn't update those. Next meetings are in December, on the 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
The CNY, Health Emergency Preparedness, the Northern New York Child Fatality Review Team, though that seems the way. Samaritan Medical Center stroke meetings, Upstate Stroke Quality Group, we helped with the Jefferson County MIH meetings. We've entered into a really great agreement with Paul to be able to share data on their patients, for, times that they're calling an ambulance. And it's really cut down on a lot of work for Paul. And when Paul isn't busy, everybody's happy. The Jefferson County Hazard Mitigation Steering Group, and as always, any paperwork that needs to be submitted to our office should be sent to the paperwork email, not to any one of us individually, because then it gets lost. Any questions for the program agency? Great. So the next item is the 2026 meeting schedule. So Debbie, Dr. Delaney and I did meet before this about, adjusting the reback times based on what is on the agenda, so there's not as much downtime between meetings. So on meetings that we have a shorter agenda, the time will be 6. Meetings that are a longer agenda, it'll be 5:30. And that will be at Dr. Delaney's discretion, what she tells me to do, because she scares me. Do we need to vote to approve that?
No, because it's a REMSCO.
REMSCO things.
That will go to the REMSCO board tonight for approval.
I don't have anything further, and there's nothing on the agenda. Debbie, do you have anything that you want to bring up or?
I don't think so. We should take a second, and talk about the meeting that we did have with the 3 counties about the development of the coverage.
Oh,
That's called.
Mark, do you know what it's called? It's the essential service.
Yeah, it's kind of essentially plan, the legislation that if signed off on requires each county and region to develop essentially an EMS plan. It's kind of vague. They want some metrics in there. I apologize. I don't remember the details off the top of my head.
Yeah, we had a kickoff meeting and then summer came, so we'll have another one here. But the 3 counties, we want to work together so that everybody doesn't recreate the wheel and we're all on the same page. So we did set up a share drive and put some stuff up there, and we'll have it, get another meeting scheduled here and go through that, but.
I know
The
there's,
REMSCO Legislative Committee is hoping to have an outline, draft outline in December.
just gonna say, I know both Ledge is working on some assistance too, so everybody's kind of at least in a similar, across the state, similar data metrics and plan.
And then the other thing, and this doesn't fulfill my requirement, I understand that. So part of the program agency's contract now is we have opportunity for recruitment and retention. Funds that are allocated to us. Through that, though, we had to do a market study of the region. This is in addition to the studies that the state has already done, because this allows us to have more of a focused look at our region specifically. So we sent it out to both regions. Of the providers, we got probably about 50 back, which was more than I was actually anticipating. By and large, the number one challenge that people feel in their agencies for recruitment and retention is pay. That's not something that we can affect at the regional level. We can't do anything about that. The other is work-life balance was number 2, but the actual affectable things that we can make improvements on were a lot of providers said they were leaving because of leadership issues and training requirements. So, and barriers to getting new people in were just not having the technology to get young people into EMS. So I'm gonna send out the findings of the study to Dr. Delaney and the REMSCO Executive Committee, just for them to go over and get their input from. Same with the Mountain Lake side, we'll do the same thing. And then hope to come back at the January meeting with a plan of attack on how we're going to move forward with this. So that's all I have on that. All right, with no further business to come before the council, is there any other new business? Entertain a motion to adjourn. Doc.
Not supposed to make a motion.
Have a great night,
I'm
everyone.
assuming. Hi, Ryan, thank you.